Nerd Academy podcast is released weekly at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, available on our website at www.thenerdacademypodcast.com and wherever you listen to podcasts. You can find the Nerd Academy podcast on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. You can also help support the show by going to patreon.com/The Nerd Academy podcast, where every donation allows us to bring you more exciting content every week.
Good morning, class, and welcome back to the Nerd Academy podcast, your source for nerddom news and commentary. I am your host and superior web headmaster, Jarod Bachman-Stubbs. And yeah, the main show hasn't been on in a minute. Scheduling has been difficult. And pretty soon here, we are going to be doing season reviews for The Boys and Ms. Marvel. But in the meantime, we are here with a review for Thor. And I am joined by Mitch of the Comic Book Cast.
Hey, what's up? You can find me on Twitter at 692 tweets. Or don't straight away. I'm having a bit of a moment. Give it a couple of days and then follow what I need. I won't be as heated, but it's fine. Yeah,
Mitch isn't taking prisoners on Twitter right now. He's acting on Twitter the way like myself or Alden acts on Twitter. Which is, just the sheer internet vigilantism, which is always fun. Also, Armin is not joining us because Armin is a fucking coward and refuses to answer for his terrible, terrible, terrible takes. And I know he'll see this, and I want you to know I am calling you out because I respect you.
No, don't show that guy respect. He doesn't deserve it right now.
No, not right now. But we can't abandon him. Like Huey in the Boys finale said, we're going to save everyone, especially if they don't deserve it. And speaking of people who don't deserve it, we are also joined by Nick Johnson.
Wow. Okay.
Fan basis. I don't know. It felt right, but it was also incredibly mean. I don't know. I'm feeling punchy now.
No, it's okay. It's okay.
Nick, where can everybody find you and what you do?
Well, you can find me on multiple fan bases. You can find the channel on here on YouTube. You can also find on Spotify. We're trying to get, branch out more. And you can also find me on Twitter on NFJ Films. And yeah, that's about it.
Excellent. Before we jump into our review of Thor: Love and Thunder, Thov and Lunder, say it one more time before I say it by accident. A word from our lovely sponsors at SundaysBloodyMary.com. Sundays Bloody Mary is the one-stop spot. I always have trouble with that. I always get tongue-tied. For the most badass Bloody Mary accoutrement in the galaxy. You guys got the award-winning Spicy Caesar mix, my favorite, of course. They also have their mild and traditional mixes. They have garnishes, like their pickled dilly beans, okra, and asparagus. I'm a pickled asparagus and a Bloody Mary kind of guy. And rim salt. They also have fun merch, like their shot glasses and apparel. So go to sundaysbloodymary.com/shop. Use code TNAP, TNAP, at checkout and get the best Bloody Mary mix you're ever going to have in your life. And you help out your favorite nerds while you do it. So, Thor: Love and Thunder, for some reason that is truly perplexing to me, has ended up being the most divisive comic book movie of the year so far.
Yeah.
From the jump. We're talking about Thor: Love and Thunder like it's been out 3 weeks on home release and Twitter has decided to hate it now. Like, that's what it feels like. That's what the discourse feels like. I'm so afraid of how people are going to talk about this movie when it's out on home release, and people can just say the most wild shit.
Look at this shot that's not supposed to be paused. It looks horrible. Oh, did I get... Oh, sorry, something.
No, you're still here.
Yeah, no, you're good. No, I mean,
okay.
You're right. Like, the negative discourse around this movie started like before it was out. It started with cherry picking shots from trailers, this is a $200 million movie. Like, yes, And there's a scene where he's standing in a backyard, and no one's pretending that backyard isn't a backyard. You know, it seems like really bad faith. It seems really nitpicky. You know, there absolutely needs to be a conversation that's had about the way that VFX artists are being treated by Marvel. I don't think I don't think, especially on this panel, that is a hot take, that it is bad actually. And
can we also have people who are calling for that stop saying that every VFX shot is bad?
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Both are dumb. Yeah, like it's
like I'm gonna be on your side, but backhand you at the same time.
Exactly, and I don't think that's productive either. You know, like and again, it's not a secret that Marvel kind of runs like a VFX sweatshop. VFX artists need to unionize, and even though it would affect everybody here, I just want to put this out there, fully in support of a VFX artist strike if that's what it gets, if that's what it takes to get
definitely
people their just deserves. But that said, I don't understand how this movie is this divisive. I don't like it.
I mean, the first thing I thought when I walked out was people are going to hate this movie. Yeah, straight away. I didn't realize it's going to be this much, but I was like, people are going to hate this. I can just feel it.
Yep.
It's too feel goody at the end. And I think that's what it is. People don't want to feel good in these movies. They want to feel like crap.
Well, isn't that what every Phase 4 movie has been doing? Well, not Phase 4 movie, but every Phase 4 show has always just been like, man, these people need therapy. Like, they're all emotionally damaged. I feel like shit now. Like,
I mean, that is very true. That is very true. But this is the internet, and what we want, we don't actually want. What we don't want is what we need, but don't want that either.
It just blows my mind. I think I walked out of the theater. I was like, oh, that was fun. You know, like, this is fine. You know, is this the most groundbreaking movie in the MCU? No. Do I like it more than Thor Ragnarok? Maybe. I'm not sure yet. But like,
this is getting the reaction I expected Ragnarok to get. Yeah, Ragnarok's like, you go to any random person, they're like, oh yeah, Ragnarok's my favorite. Like, the general audience loved that movie. Yeah. Here we are.
I don't know what it is. I truly don't know what it is. I thought, like it's good. Like, I don't understand why people are saying the movie's bad. It boggles my mind. Like, I don't. Oh, how do I put this?
Do you know what I think a bit of it is actually?
What?
Is Taika's been overexposed recently. There's been all this talk about his Star Wars. There's all, you know, how he's doing this in Marvel and like just everything recently. And I think it's just a little bit of Taika backlash.
There's some of that. I actually saw somebody on Twitter describe it as the Lin-Manuelification of Taika Waititi.
Yeah.
Where it's just like, here is this creative everybody loves ubiquitously on the internet and will not stop praising, and how that inevitably turns into like this weird hate mob out of nowhere.
Well, success breeds contempt, right?
I mean, success breeds contempt, sure, but it feels identical to the way that like the internet turned on Lin-Manuel Miranda.
Where like, it's exactly the same. Yeah,
it's exactly the same. Like everybody, you know, loved Hamilton until they decided they didn't anymore. And then, like,
Hamilton came out on Disney Plus, and that was it. People hated it. It's just like, what the hell? I've been like hearing nothing but great things about this thing for 2 odd years, or however long it's been since it's been on stage.
Yeah,
and now suddenly everyone hates it in him, and it's all problematic. It's just like, what's going on?
Yeah, I mean, that's its own conversation about Hamilton. You know, I like it for what it is. I mean, you can absolutely critique it and all of those things, but it is this. It feels like the same, like, weird internet heel turn. Where on a dime, everybody just started hating him, and like,
I mean, is it any different to the Russos? They had the same thing towards the end of like Infinity War and Endgame.
I mean,
people started turning on them guys.
The only difference I would say is that there was always a consistent Russo criticism. Like there was always the through line of like critiquing their visual language, and
Gray
you
filter.
know, gray filter.
But now you've got the there's jokes every 5 seconds, nothing can sit. Which
Well,
yeah,
I mean,
it's weird though. Time's a flat circle. That's what people were saying about the MCU all the way back in Phase 2.
it's true. Yeah.
You know, I don't know. I'm just super perplexed by the mountain of hate for Thor: Love and Thunder. And I as much as I like this movie, because I do like it quite a lot, I do have my problems with it. I like it a lot, and I don't want this to come across as like backhanded or flippant against the movie, but I don't think this movie has like enough meat on the bone to hate it as much as people do. Does that make sense?
Yeah. No, I
like,
agree with you. Yeah.
Like
No,
there's like I love this movie, but like hating
So this is the hill you're
Jedi,
choosing to die on. Like
The Last
this
Jedi has makes so many crazy decisions that like I can wrap my brain around it being at the bottom of somebody's list.
Yeah.
That makes sense to me. Again, not for obvious reasons, but like I can wrap my brain around something like The Last Jedi, as divisive as that movie is. You know, that makes sense to be at the bottom of somebody's list because it just does some crazy shit. This movie did shit I could only classify as like crazy or divisive in like comic book terms, but it's all territory we've shred before in the source material. So I don't know. The backlash is befuddling to me. Nick, you were getting ready to say something.
All right. Well, I get the criticism that this movie is getting, like the the overuse of jokes in the movie, like every 5 seconds. Like I get that, like because like when Jane has like when Jane showed up and they made a joke about cancer, about her.
That's the thing. They never make a single joke about the cancer.
Dude, when Jane said that, said that she had cancer to Thor, like my entire theater laughed.
Like, but that's not the movie. That's
no, but
reaction.
Then again, someone said, "Well, shit," and then everyone laughed. It might have been because of that one dude.
There you go. Yeah.
But like, I get like comedy is subjective. Maybe that's so the jokes aren't always going to land, and I get it. Like they want some more to serious the main story beats play out more and let it stand on its own, and instead of just being hit on the head with a joke every 5 minutes. Like I get that criticism, but like I still enjoyed it. It's still a fun movie. Jarod, are you okay?
Yeah, no, I'm listening.
Okay,
my hand was itchy.
Right. You're all like, this son of a bitch.
No, I'm listening, and it's very dry in here, Mitchy. You're good.
All right. Yeah, I can't think of anything else to say right now.
No.
Okay.
I will say with the humor, and I think this is a good jumping off point for it. It works for me. One of my biggest criticisms isn't even the humor; it's the dialogue. There are some moments where, and it's a stylistic choice. I don't think this is by accident. It just didn't work for me. Where the dialogue feels like incredibly overwritten in a very we want to poke fun at Thor comics kind of way. Like it's almost like a sillier space-ballified version of the dialogue in the first movie. If that makes sense. Like one of my favorites being the very like over dramatic the Sif, you're missing an arm. Like it's like okay, like
that whole exchange between those two was really weird.
It like, but
and
it feels super endemic of a lot of the other dialogue. I wish I got a chance to see it again so I could like take note of like other specific lines. But like the dialogue just felt like super deliberately overwritten, and I did not work for me. But with the humor, that specific moment as well, Nick, with the I have cancer. The thing with Taika Waititi's humor, especially in these two Thor movies, is it's not meant. A lot of the jokes are meant to be like an uncomfortable joke. a lot of it is
that like another one that made me. It was like when she was like, Jane, it's stage 4. Out of how many? 4 that we know about. And I was like, maybe you shouldn't really.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, but you also the same way with Ragnarok. So much of that humor is somebody deliberately trying to laugh through the tears, smile through the pain, and it's very human. And I think that's very real, and it's the reason why I like Taika's humor so much. My audience, my opening night screening, had almost an identical situation to you, where I have cancer, and while everybody's like, if anything's funny about that scene in a vacuum, it's Thor's reaction, because there is that like what kind of moment from him, which is just the pacing, the way. But there was some guy in our theater who just like really loud from the back went, "That's sick," and then everybody just kind of like had like a brief moment of like, stop fucking talking, but also laughing. Because like, why would you say that?
I was trying during that entire scene, I was trying so hard to just hold in my laughter because of that one guy behind me. I was all like, dude, shut the fuck up. But at the same time, I was just dying in my seat, just trying to hold it all in.
Nothing's ever going to top whenever the opening night of The Force Awakens, Kylo Ren takes off his helmet, stands up, and some guy all the way in the back yelled, "He looks like Andy Samberg," and took all of the tension out of that interrogation scene. Listen, I can't not think of that guy.
I went to go. I saw The Kingsman in one of the main characters. Yeah, thanks. Anyway, like one of the dudes, like the main character's son, he dies, and then someone's all like, and then someone's in the back was like, "Damn, that sucks," and then like everyone. Well, there was like 10 people there, but still, the 10 people who were there were laughing.
That's funny.
It was supposed to be like this really sad and dramatic moment, and then everyone was just laughing. Like all the emotional beats gone.
It's okay. No one can be worse than me trying to watch House of Gucci in a crowded theater.
Oh man.
Shouts out Taylor. I am so sorry for my behavior in that auditorium. Yeah, Mitch, your take with the humor here before we talk plot and things like that.
I mean, it's exactly what I expected it to be. It's just Taika Waititi humor, isn't it?
Yeah.
I don't know what else I could really say about it. It's exact. They said from the word go, "Oh, it's a rom-com." It's exactly what I expected the humor to be.
Yeah. And I also like, and maybe
that's probably why.
And maybe it's just me. I totally did not feel like the humor undercut the serious elements of this movie.
No.
I really don't get that feeling at all. I again, if that's somebody's criticism, I'm sorry.
It's like the one everyone's going for is the Jane with the sink, right? And it's like, oh, why couldn't you let that sit for at least 5 seconds? Like, she hits the sink, she stares at herself, and then it's a whole like minute at least later that there's a joke, and it's the little portable speaker thing. An entire different conversation later is when the joke hits. It's like that scene sits. They let you sit with that for at least half of that scene, and I don't get it. But
yeah. No, I agree with you on that. Mm-hmm. And I also just want to say, as a queer person, I do think this movie was gay enough. Mm-hmm. This movie was plenty gay. Valkyrie was also trying to fuck Jane.
I mean, she wanted that little what are they? The Greek gods.
Yeah. Some of that.
She was horny.
Yeah. No. On top of just like Korg and the
Mitch, what'd you say it, Matt?
Huh? What'd you say, Nick?
Oh, he gone.
No, yeah. Looks like we've lost Nick. He can pop back in whenever he needs to. Or message me whenever he's not going apeshit anymore. Wait, I think I see him moving again. I think we're good. There we go. Nick, you were going crazy. I had to bump you real quick. But no, between Dwayne The Rock Johnson, Korg's boyfriend, actual discussions of like.
Now I finally caught on.
Don't tell me you didn't get that.
You see, for
this is why your internet's going.
And
Oh no.
okay.
Oh no, Nick, I'm so sorry.
You need to go to the center of the universe and make a wish, my dude.
And then run. Am I Sean today? Am I Sean?
You want to try that again, buddy? Because we got none of what you were saying.
Damn it. Am I Sean?
I heard "Am I Sean?" and that's it. No, literally.
Oh, yes, you are the Sean for this recording session.
Anyway, yeah, I did not get that Dwayne The Rock joke until you just said it.
I
got it the moment they said it, and I doubled over in my seat.
She won't appreciate me saying her age, so I won't. My slightly older mother got it instantly. She has no idea who Dwayne Johnson is, but she got that.
That's funny. But no, like, you get your gay rocks. Valkyrie actively talks about, love and romance, and she is either bi or lesbian. I don't know which. I've seen people just say open lesbian. Sure, we can go in either direction. I don't care. But this movie's plenty gay. I think this movie's plenty gay, and there's also just vibes and aesthetics that just, audio listeners, I did the hand
giant
thing.
Rainbow.
Yeah, I felt sufficiently gayed. I don't know. Maybe that's just me. Maybe just because I'm a baby queer.
Don't worry.
But any hoozles. Talking performance and moving into that kind of segment of this conversation. I would slap a baby to get like 5 more minutes of Christian Bale as Gore.
Yeah, that's the biggest offender of this movie. The God Butcher. Is that what? Can we see him do something?
Butcher some gods.
Yeah, like yes, he has the one at the start, but
where's
the rest of it?
You're right. Like, I was a little underwhelmed by that. I really do wish we got more Christian Bale's Gore. I wish we got to see more of him fighting. The thing that I liked about all of the fights with Gore is that they felt so unique to any fight in the MCU, because normally with these really tanky celestial being type villains, you just can't hit them. Like, every time you hit them, they just kind of like brush it off, all that for a drop of blood type thing. With Gore, like, you could hit him, but then he just kind of like skitter away like a fucking weirdo. And I like that. I like having a villain who, like, who you could tangibly hit and knock back and beat up, but was also just kind of just so creepy, and he was just this like shadow demon man. I don't know. I really enjoyed, like, just the fights with him were super cool, and the body language and the physicality to it. And that's to say nothing of Christian Bale's performance, which was absolutely terrifying. And shit with the kids in the cage with the little.
I was just thinking that,
snaky man. Mm-hmm. The way they shot his eyes too, the way his eyes would just kind of light up a dark frame while he walked into it. That was really cool. I really loved everything with Gore, and I just want more of it by such a huge margin. Also,
it's funny though, right? Because everyone's like unanimous that Bale is good as Gore, but he doesn't have that one scene that a villain really needs, and that's to make him a threat. Like, every villain has a scene where they do something. It's like, oh, cool, this guy's a threat. Like, I have a reason to be scared of him, which is the lack of him butchering anyone outside of the bit at the start.
I don't know. I feel like,
I mean, you could say to where he's like interrogating Thor to, like, call out, Stormbreaker. You could say it's
but he's not. He's not actually. See, no, I wouldn't agree that he's a threat at that point. He's just intimidating. He's intimidating. Threat, same thing, isn't it?
Oh, I will say, I got the immediate, terror from him. I would say whenever he invades New Asgard, I would say that moment where he's sending all the shadow monsters in, and whenever he, very horror movie, just kind of just teleports in front of people.
But that's not like it's cool. I like that scene. It's really cool. But that's all the monsters doing this stuff. Like, yes, he has this ability to control it because of the sword, but Gore's currently doing nothing. He's just standing there.
No, I mean, he set that army upon them. Like, that was the moment I was like, oh shit. Like, with all these weird shadow monsters, taking New Asgard and all the fight that was happening there. Like, I absolutely was like, damn, like, this guy is vicious. And the fact that, like, obviously he's not as strong as Thor physically, but, like, martially, he held his own against Thor.
And the last fight scene's great. It's just that's the first, that's the first time we can see that he actually can fight. Everything else is I'm just going to use all the stuff from the sword. Which, he's kind of like he can fight, but it's. I just want a little bit more.
I agree. I think we absolutely, pardon me, could have done with a lot more. I think he's probably the strongest part of the movie, outside of Hemsworth and Portman's chemistry, which was electric. Hey, very funny joke.
Thunderous applause.
Hey. We're having
That's
a
twofer. There you go.
That was lovely.
Yeah, there it is. Speaking of Natalie Portman, unless anybody else has more to say about Gore, I'll take silence as a no. Oh.
No, I was just trying to think. It's funny how you get used to a design quick.
Yeah, I had no problems with what they did with Thor. I didn't need him to be a Twi'lek. I was fine with this.
No. So I don't think his comic look would have worked in this movie.
No.
It would have looked a bit ridiculous. I mean, it's a comic book movie and it's Taika, but I don't know, even for he's for like a performance that Bale is given, I feel like it just would have, take me out of it. If you had, that's just me.
I could have done.
They could have gone a bit more. Sorry, they could have gone a bit more symbiote-esque, and the Twilight, like the tendrils, whatever they're called, could be like from the sword, and the looks more that way. But Bale is still Bale underneath it. But that's just a pure, not even a nitpick.
I mean, like I said, I could do with it. I could do without it. I'm kind of neutral on whether or not he has his head tails. Natalie Portman's Jane Foster, incredible here. Granted, part of that is because she has more to do than she did in especially the Dark World. And again, like that, Mitch. I mean, like, again, I feel like she is a character in the first two. She just doesn't get that much to do. Like in the first movie, she's like the grounding force for Thor, and like helps him get in tune with his own humanity and help find his worth again. But the Dark World, she just doesn't have a whole lot to do. And
she's a plot device in that movie.
She's a plot device, and I think that out of all of the MCU romances, she was kind of the one that she and Thor kind of had the least amount of chemistry, and was the one that fell by the wayside because of that. Here, I am really excited to see her and everything she did. Obviously, spoiler review here. My God, I really hope they do something with her being in Valhalla. I really hope that we see more of Jane. I think it is very I don't think it is an accident that the end credits tag was Thor will return, because of the very clear ambiguity of to whom do you refer with Thor will return.
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, also just the end credit scene. Why show dead people with a physical body? She's that. All of them are obviously going to come back. It's literally part of Norse mythology.
Yeah.
cycle, like death and rebirth, they continuously come back.
Absolutely, I agree with you. Also, again, because I only got to see it once, do we know what happened with Mjolnir?
What do you mean?
He's with Thor.
Oh shit! Never mind. Yeah, you're
The
right.
little kid.
I forgot.
Hemsworth's actual daughter does the thing.
Part. I was so lost on like just their interaction. I forgot that she has. Never mind. I was like that just occurred to me. I'm like, what happened with Mjolnir? And then you guys jogged my memory. Thank you. No, but I really like Jane's performance here. I like the way that her steadfast nature kind of turns into I'll be fine with all the cancer. Yeah, I just really enjoyed her. Again, it's one of those like I wish I had more of it. I love their scene on the ship while they're kind of riding the Bifrost to Gore's planet. I just loved everything about that dynamic. I want more of it immediately.
So that's the biggest problem with this movie. I just wanted more of everything.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like, why could
could have had 15 more minutes.
Yeah, 15, people are going like, 20, 30. It's like, I don't think you necessarily need this movie to be 2.5 hours long. It is a comedy after all. That's slightly pushing it a little bit. 15, yeah. Just for a bit more Jane and a bit more Gore, because, their whole dynamic is there.
Maybe
the
more
same,
Valkyrie.
Opposite. More Valkyrie. Yeah, she needed more stuff to do. Less Tessa Thompson.
Less Korg, more Valkyrie, in my opinion. That's just me.
People have really turned on Korg. I don't get it.
Well,
because I didn't think Korg was that egregious in this movie.
Well, I feel like some people, obviously, there's fair criticism where they say, oh, he might have overstayed his welcome, and then there's the usual homophobic suspects as well. Which
there's that.
And to me, I don't get why people are mad by that, because there's only like all of his, his species is just
all male.
Yeah. So it's like,
the thing from the comics that people always want, and like, oh no, we can't have that now. So like, okay, I see. It's like he's also a bunch of rocks. Does it actually matter at that point?
Yes, exactly.
He's not even a human. Like, let the alien be gay if he wants. It's not even gay at that point. If it's all men, he just exists.
It's just straight, technically.
That is the homosexual agenda for you guys. They want you to think. I am transported. This is such a non sequitur, and I guess content warning for people being shitty and saying the shittiest thing that can possibly muster. Oh God, it was about a year ago now. Two of my regulars at the bar, both are just pilled to the gills. Like OAN and Newsmax are the only news I watch. They're the only people who tell the truth types. She was talking about how she saw a commercial where they're trying to convince people that two men can have babies because it was a gay couple and one of them was black, the other one was white, and there was a black baby and a white baby, and they were trying to convince people that those two men made babies. And she was really angry about it. And I just remember being like, first of all, your Punnett squares are off. Second of all, what the fuck are you talking about? And the Korg discourse taking me right back to that. They're trying to convince us that two men can have babies. It's like, it's rock aliens. Shut the hell up. My God. Although
they're
I do
literally just
hope...
faces made of rocks. There's nothing else important to them. Like, why
exactly. Like he could survive decapitated.
There's also a bug in wearing like a suit on Earth. Like, what does it matter? Like, everyone thought Meek was a dude. Turns out it's not.
Love Meek. Love me some Meek. I also like. This is stupid. I low key want Korg to try to hit on the Thing when the Thing becomes a thing. That
would make Dwayne mad, though.
I don't know, like this, or I don't know. Have them both be like, "Hi, mate. Hey,
that's offensive to New Zealanders."
Like. I'm sorry.
That was very much an English accent right there.
Sorry, Stephen. But I don't know. Alden Diaz has a much better Taika than I do. Damn it! I was gonna try to play that Moon Knight TikTok, and I realized I deleted it out of the StreamYard.
Oh, I was excited for that. I like that.
Wait, do I have it? No, I don't. Damn it!
That's unfortunate.
All right, well, here's Scotty Jarod to make up for it. It's not playing. This is frustrating. All right, well, never mind. I clicked on it and then we muted us for it to play, and then it didn't. Okay, here's Nick.
Oh,
there you go.
Saw that as well.
Were you guys seeing Scotty? Was it just?
I was seeing Scotty. Yeah.
Oh, that's weird. Let's try it again. Is absolutely not happening on my end, which means it's not happening in the recording.
He's playing. He's playing.
It's so funny because it's showing me it's playing. It's muting everybody's microphone, but it is not popping up on my screen. Anyway,
oh well, comedy comes in threes. You can't play it anymore.
I know. Oh well, it happens. I want to talk about Thor. I want to talk about the character of Chris Hemsworth, Thor Odin's son, because we've been talking about Jane. I do not understand. Okay, this is going to be where my Armin call out happens. I do not understand the very idea of saying that all of the character development is undone by this movie. I think that you're dealing with somebody who is having one of, if not
a midlife crisis.
A midlife crisis, but also a very real and organic way that people grieve. You know, you got to remember by the end of Endgame, he's only just beginning to pick up the pieces again.
Yeah.
You know, this is that level of, I'm going to put a Band-Aid on it. The getting back in shape and getting back into the superhero game. He just replaced one bad habit with another one. Instead of
and you get that at the start, right, where he's just really overcompensating for everything, and the whole Jean-Claude Van Damme action scene.
Love that.
And he brings down the temple.
Exactly.
And he's supposed to be like this. That's exactly the point in a minute.
Yeah, and I don't understand the criticism that you're rolling it back. It's no, it's an evolution. He's this is the latest step in his coming back to remembering who he is. This is this is the logical next step from Endgame, in my opinion. Especially when you factor in by the end of Ragnarok, say Infinity War doesn't shake out the way it did. Thor had everything. I think he was at the best place he had been mentally. He and Loki.
He lost all of his friends.
Yeah,
he and Loki
were.
And his dad.
He and Loki were finally on good terms. I think he had a very big.
And his entire planet.
You can see just the seethe.
Padawan.
That hairline is just reducing how mad he is right now.
Excuse me? What?
Have you ever heard of molding? It's a combination of mad and balding. I'm gonna take the face.
I will have you know, Mitchell.
I'm not
having any problems in that department. I got 4 locks, my friend.
I mean, my friend, his dad had a ponytail, but he was definitely balding. No, I wasn't saying you are actually balding. I was just saying the face is I'm getting mad to the point where it might start.
I really thought you were look at his hairline. I was like, God damn! I'm not even firing shots at you today. Steven with a V out here just saying the meanest shit. Jesus!
No, see, unlike you, I'm not like that.
You're not like what?
I don't just fire the meanest shots.
I don't. I keep a lot of shit in reserve. And Scotty doesn't count. because Scotty's an egomaniac and needs to be made fun of constantly. Anyway, we're done making fun of my hairline, which is something I'm going to become incredibly conscious about for the rest of my life. Thank you, Mitch.
Welcome to my land.
I think that Thor, barring, the horrible things that happen in Ragnarok, comes to a place of self-actualization that is immediately unseated by Thanos. Like, if you gave Thor a couple years moving from Ragnarok, like, I feel like you would have the ultimate Thor. But he doesn't get that. He gets not immediately, but like he gets that essentially immediate fallout by being directly in Thanos' path, losing Loki, losing Heimdall, and then losing the battle. Like, I think it's those three big punches, especially because he could have killed Thanos, had he gone for the head, obviously, and he didn't, and he let him get away. And that shattered
chopped off his left arm.
Okay. Any more ideas from the Cinema Sins corner?
No, I'm done right now.
What about honest trailers? No.
Honest trailers. I don't like honest trailers that much, but they're better than Cinema Sins. Honest trailers is honest trailers is just the style of humor doesn't work for me. Cinema Sins actively ruined film criticism on the internet, and I feel bad because I used to love them. But
you'll make mistakes. No one's perfect.
Yeah. I mean, it also shows my age. I was like 14 when Cinema Sins was blowing up. So, it was also pre them forgetting it was a bit. Like, that's absolutely a thing that happened. Where like the first few videos, like it was a joke. It was funny. And then I think they forgot they were kidding, if that makes sense. And then it became like this weird mix of here's why I actually don't like this movie, and also this scene does not contain a lap dance. Ding. Anyway. I really love Thor's arc over all of the MCU. I think it is very human. I think it is very realistic. I think that it is, the way that people live in certain phases of their life. And that, I don't know. For being a god, he feels the most human. And like a normal person throughout his journey. I don't know. Maybe that's me. One of you guys, your opinions.
No, I completely agree because, this is just an extension of where he is from Endgame. But then they throw in here's the X's, right? And it's like you're trying to pick yourself up and find out who you are. You've then just had everything you wanted from the past brought back to you. Like, you're going to revert slightly, and there is a slight reversion, I think, in Thor's character. But it's not a permanent one. It's all just part of the arc. Because by the end, he's not the same as he used to be. He's not the same as he was at the start of the movie. He has changed and evolved as a character.
I think there's something to be said for like a, right person, wrong time type thing. And
yeah.
I don't know. I really like that a theme of this movie is closure. And seeing Thor get to properly say goodbye to Jane, A, as a partner, and B, because she's dead.
Quotes.
Dead. Quote, she's comic book dead. There's something beautiful to that. There's something beautiful to, had Thor lost Jane this way fighting Thanos, he would be inconsolable. He would be gone. He would just pull an Icarus and fly right into the sun at that point. I don't think there would be any coming back for him if that had happened earlier in his life. Because he's learned so much about who he is and to do things and treat himself better, he's able to, like Star-Lord says at the beginning of the movie, love.
Feel shitty than have nothing.
Exactly. Better to have loved than lost than to not have loved at all type thing. And I don't think Thor pre-Endgame, even at his best, even Thor circa the Dark World and Age of Ultron, while he kind of had it all together, not fully, but like because he hadn't had the reality check that was Hela. But like even at the moments where he was at his strongest, I don't think he could have handled what happened with Jane.
No,
this
totally.
Thor can. This Thor is able to go from, the very vengeful beheading of Thanos to adopting Gore's daughter. Like that is real character development. That is somebody who's changed and realizes how important like breaking a cycle is. And I really, really love that. I really, really love all of that. And especially the way that they retroactively make it the namesake of the movie. Just my heart so happy.
Oh yeah, everyone was like, "Aw," in the movie theater when Cork said that.
Oh, I love
it. It's a feel good light bulb moment. Just like, oh yeah.
Love and Thunder. Oh, made me happy. I'm getting happy. Like I'm just smiling thinking about it. It's so cute.
It's
so
also Hemsworth's daughter as well, and I like that even more.
And again, that adds so much to it as well.
Because both of his kids are in this movie.
Yeah. And I love that so much. And like, speaking of kids, that whole scene where the power of Thor for a limited time only. That whole fight was incredible. Whenever I was with Joel and Taylor, they were like, "Oh my god, that bunny's gonna have lightning powers!" And like right before the girl, and I was like, in the theater, like I did that as a joke to make them laugh, and I was so happy they did that exact shot of her firing the rabbit like it was a fucking Gatling gun. Made me very happy. All of that was just so cute. Like it's like I don't know, man. This was the moment I think that people forgot that superhero movies are also for kids. Like I'm not gonna sit here and do the very condescending. It's all for kids. It's for everybody. Like fandom shit. Pardon me. Is designed to be for all parties. There is some deeper stuff that the little ones aren't going to get until they're a little older, and they're not going to get until they really choose to want to dissect the text. There's also shit for the kids that is just kind of, lightning axe go burr, pretty colors, but like they get the emotional core. Like they get it. They may not understand
it's the Pixar
it, but
effect.
they feel it. Exactly. And like, I don't know, this movie kind of made me feel like even though this movie says the word orgy like 5 times, this one definitely felt like it was for the little ones in a very like love is the most powerful thing in the universe. And maybe that's hokey and cliche. I don't fucking care. I think it's important and it is correct.
I agree.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of the orgy,
it can be corny if used in the wrong way.
I think it's corny. I think we as a culture use corny as though it is a bad thing. I think that corny is used synonymously with bad, and I don't always think that that is fair. I think that sometimes corny can not work, but corny and bad are not the same thing, and I love some hokey corn sometimes. That's a shirt, get you can, a hokey corn. Where it is love is the most powerful force in the universe and the good guys win, and sometimes the bad guy just needs a hug, and that made me happy.
Surprisingly, Gore wins in this. Sure, he changes his mind, but he outright won.
Yeah, you're right.
That's twice. That Thor lost to the villain. 3 times.
What's the
first one?
Hela, yeah.
Thanos. The first time. And Gore.
I wouldn't say he lost to Hela. I think that was more of a I think they realized so quickly that they couldn't actually beat Hela that the objective was just to beat her up and stall.
I say, does Hela win because Hela wanted Asgard? and they took that away.
Yeah, that's another thing. Are we talking won the fight or won the day?
I mean, Gore won both, really.
Because Gore got his ass beat, but he won the day. You know, like he got the thing he wanted. Thanos got the thing he wanted, even though he had like an axe like 7 inches deep into his chest. Hela, I don't think they wanted to fight her, but this is the fun of like unpacking this kind of stuff. Like it's minutia that is fun to get into the weeds of. But no, I mean, Nick, you're not wrong. Thor does have the worst batting average of the Avengers. I mean, everybody collectively took a giant L with Infinity War.
I mean, hell, you could say the Dark World as well, since Loki took over Asgard.
Okay, now you're stretching, bud.
Okay.
Now you're just Mr. Fantasticing this. But no, I love Thor's arc, and like I said, speaking of orgies, I'm just gonna say orgy, and see how long it takes this video to get taken down. Because of the post-credit scene, obviously we're gonna get more of Russell Crowe as Zeus.
Thank God.
I went to listen to more of this silly accent. I don't know what he's doing. I don't know.
He's trying to be Greek, I think.
I have no idea what that accent is. I mean, part of it's Greek, but there are some lines where it's very "I make it to pizza" as well.
Yeah.
And I love that. As an Italian, I approve of it. It's so funny. I love his Zeus, and I'm so glad Zeus is alive. And they could not have picked a better Hercules than the hot guy from Ted Lasso.
Still have not seen that show yet.
I have not either, but I know that guy is hot and looks like a Hercules.
He's entirely CGI in the credit scene.
What?
He's CGI. He's not real. He's not that big. If you watch it again and look, that he's definitely CGI.
Okay, when you said he's entirely CGI,
from the neck down, he's CGI.
Okay, that's what confused me. I was like,
actually, even the face probably. You know, they obviously scanned his face.
I was like, did they like completely Tarkin hot guy from Ted Lasso as Hercules?
It's not far off. It's not far off. Yeah.
Oh my goodness, that surprised me.
Just wait, 45 days from now, film Twitter is gonna just tear that whole end credit scene apart. And like, it's not real.
Neither Thor. Leave him alone.
We're gonna take him into the backyard and shoot him. The backyard where Thor is standing with the lightning bolt. But no, I really don't understand the hate for this movie. I think I just want to say, because we've been talking about like character and plot stuff for the most part, the color palette for this movie was beautiful. This movie was so. It was so colorful. The way they used color, especially the lack thereof, the solitary glow of the magical weapons was such a cool thing for that fight on Gore's world. Like, I cannot wait to see this movie again. I cannot wait to have it on home release so that I can just really sit down and watch those little moments where like Mjolnir is just giving just this small amount of blue light, or the small amount of blue light coming off of Stormbreaker, or that golden glow coming off of Zeus's Thunderbolt. It was just such a visually stunning fight and a visually fun to watch movie. This made my eyeballs feel good watching this.
Yeah. Which is funny. I say it's funny, even though it's slightly different contexts. But there was a conversation with Kenobi about how the volume's starting to show the cracks a little bit, at least in what you can do. We talked about it a little bit, Jared.
Yeah.
But then you come to here, and the only thing that's really changed is the size of it. But you change the size of it, and it makes everything look completely different to how it does.
Was this shot on the volume?
Yes.
It was shot on a volume. Yeah, they got a massive one in Australia.
Wow, I did not know this was used the volume. That's impressive.
They released a behind the scenes thing right before the movie came out, and the entire fight at the beginning is on the volume.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's interesting. I did not know that. That's really cool. That is really cool. I don't know. As somebody who's like a Star Wars guy over all other things, like, the volume. I have like a weird, like, the volume is my baby. Like, it's like my favorite thing in visual effects ever.
Oh, I love it.
It's like it had its start in Star Wars. Very excited for. I really thought the first Marvel movie to use the volume was going to be Ant-Man. So
no, the Batman was the first one to use it.
What?
The Batman was the first movie to use.
Oh, I meant like a Marvel movie, like
Marvel movie. Sorry. No, yeah.
I know the Batman used the volume, but like I meant like the kind of crazy, like a very CGI heavy. Like I want to see what kind of weird comic book shit happens with the volume in Ant-Man. But
aren't you using it for the Marvels?
I can't remember. I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah,
depends where it's filming. Because I know they've obviously got the one over here, and Warner Brothers has one. There's one in Australia.
That is so cool. But yeah, I love the visual storytelling with this movie. I'm not a classic rock guy, but the soundtrack was fucking killer.
Mm-hmm. That was one. Probably my biggest disappointment. Not the soundtrack, not the whole Guns N' Roses thing. I thought that worked well, but it's the score for this movie. While I like it, it's virtually non-existent, and it is all just needle drops of Guns N' Roses.
That's fair.
You get the little bit at the end with the fight in the Shadow Realm, and it's just like, really, like, is this the only bit of music written for this movie, or is it just I'm just hearing Guns N' Roses and remembering it too much?
I know. I think that's a valid criticism. I think that score over soundtrack is a valid debate to have. I do also think it's interesting that Taika is 2 Thor movies in a row where he bookends the movie with the same classic rock song.
Yeah, I think that's just a staple of his story at this point.
I know. I just love that, like, Ragnarok, Immigrant Song is in all of the marketing. Okay, everyone's expecting it. Beginning of the movie, end of the movie, Immigrant Song. Same thing here. Everybody keeps hearing "Sweet Child of Mine" in the trailers, and then boom and boom at the end, at the beginning, and the closing of the movie. I don't know. I just think it's interesting that he does that, and I really hope he does the third Thor.
He's gonna. Let's be honest.
Yeah, we'll have a proper trilogy this time.
Yeah, I mean, hey, like I said, I love the idea of breaking from the trilogy habit. If they do another Thor, I cannot wait to see what song is like the thesis statement of the movie. Especially considering like the double meaning that "Sweet Child of Mine" takes on by the time you see the movie. Like, at first you think it's just like this classic, rocker theme, because of the guitars and all of that stuff. But then you see the movie and you're like, it's about love, like the capital L, love, the child, like the sweet child that, motivates Gore to, bring down the heavens to bring her back. And is that thing that like Thor needs that makes him a better person by the end, because now he's a dad, he gets to join the ranks of every Star Wars protagonist in the last 8 years.
With the songs though, Immigrant Song was the 70s, Sweet Child of Mine's the 80s, obviously. Where does he go for the 90s?
Well, Nirvana's taken.
Oh,
no,
you can still do it. You can do it.
Actually, would Nirvana even fit with Thor?
No, it wouldn't. I was just making a joke. I don't know. If you're going to go with the 90s, break from genre and just do hip hop. But that's also my own bias, because I'm not a rock guy. But
it could work.
I'd enjoy it. Thor getting
it's not rock, but it's ska. Ska
Thor. Yeah. Yep.
Bit of madness.
Get some Goldfinger, Real Big Fish,
Thor.
or the Aquabats. There you go.
I was thinking more like House of Fun. Bit of madness.
No. you use the next Thor 5's trailer is going to heavily feature Chubbawamba's Thub Weapon is going to be the mission statement song of Thor 5. And again, like, I think it's another interesting thing. And I talked about this the night of the movie's release because Bombadcast did a live stream reviewing it. That, Thor Ragnarok is about colonialism and is about that kind of like rot and learning to rectify your current lived experience with the fact that you could not be here without the subjugation of innocence and how in that very heavy theme. And while Gore himself is not directly affected by Asgardian colonialism, he is still the victim of like the hierarchy of the gods. And I think it's very interesting to go from a movie about here are the evils of colonialism and trying to face them, and then the next movie is, and here are the victims of this type of behavior and how they create even worse monsters in some ways with Gore. And I just like narratively why Gore exists, and that his mission statement, isn't, the movie, aside from the like whole murdering people thing, the movie never says he's wrong to want this.
No.
And if anything, Zeus proves Gore right. I don't know. I think there's a lot there that is going to take repeat viewings to kind of divinate a lot of the meaning from as time goes on. But yeah, unless anybody else has anything else to say, we're ready for closing thoughts. And
I want to give a shout out to the Ninny of the Ninny and his throne of scissors.
Yes. I laughed so hard at that. And in the credits, Taika Waititi gets a music credit for the Ballad of the Ninny of the Nunny.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's like it was something Ninny of the Nunny, written and performed by Taika Waititi.
That's fact.
It was like the last thing in the songs, and that also got a big laugh from me. But yes, shouts out Ninny of the Nunny. Also, this is just again me being an annoying Star Wars fan. They should have let Jane wear the orange and yellow robe. Because she would have looked like a Naboo.
Oh, yeah. Maiden. I got it.
Oh, yeah.
They should have given that one to Jane. That would have been so funny. That would have been so fun just to have her in the whatever, and then all the Star Wars fans.
Taika didn't watch the prequels, so
anybody who doesn't think he's fucking with that.
Well, it's the same. Like, there's that whole conversation with that, and now he's like, "Oh, they put Thor will return at the end. I was surprised by that." It's like, no, you fucking weren't. Why is everyone taking him seriously? Have you ever seen Have you ever seen Taika just say anything? The man isn't serious. To the point where I'm worried if he's actually happy or not. No one's that happy and full of funny.
I don't know. I don't. It may not even just be happiness, but he knows that fucking with nerds makes him happy. It boggles my mind the way that people are like afraid for his Star Wars. Yeah, because it's look, I'm sorry, he had one of the best descriptions of Star Wars in that Disney gallery, where he was like, Star Wars does not necessarily take itself seriously, but it believes in itself.
Yeah,
like. That statement alone, Taika gets Star Wars better than most people. And he may not have like some like grand grasp on canon or whatever, but guess what? That's what the story group exists for.
And that's also why he's doing his own thing completely removed from everything else, right? You don't need to know the canon. If you get and do your own thing separated from it, then what does the canon even matter at that point?
I mean, I think it does matter, but like, I don't know. I think that people are a little too afraid by this. Also, let's not forget that Taika Waititi, is doing movies in the MCU. Like, he has...
And already making Star Wars, because he's done Mandalorian.
Yeah. So, like, you know, this is, like, if people talk about Taika Waititi's Star Wars movie and how he's, like, going to do whatever the hell he wants with it, like, he's going, like, as though he did a Thor movie that, like, completely retconned the MCU.
I mean, he did retcon the part when Thor said, "Oh, I don't have a phone," in Ragnarok, even though in Love and Thunder he has a phone. It's just a little nitpick, but yeah.
You mean he has a phone in Love and Thunder?
Yeah, and the flashbacks of Jane.
Well, who said he didn't just get rid of it? Maybe he doesn't
Ragnarok
want a phone.
would be years after that flashback. Like, so
he doesn't have a phone anymore.
Okay.
Because he got rid of it because he had no one else to talk to anymore.
You know, what you could say is he says in Ragnarok that Korg's mother gave out the pamphlets or whatever, but in Blood and Thunder, he has two dads.
Which is funny because, again, to steal from Alden, whenever we were talking on that live stream, that probably just means that Korg
he called
species,
one of them mom. No.
They just picks one to call mom.
Yeah.
It's fun. This movie is fun. It's cute. It's fun. It's fun. It is not. It like, again, not every movie has to be okay. I don't want to use the same argument that one other shitty tweet had of like, not every movie has to be groundbreaking cinema. Because I think that's also super reductionist because it's like Taika Waititi's just a funny guy. Thor Love and Thunder can be dumb and funny. This movie is not dumb and funny. It also is not going to revolutionize filmmaking, but that's fine. This movie's good. I like it a lot. Let it be. This movie does not deserve the amount of hate it's getting. I give it a very strong B. Mitch,
this movie has one of the greatest moments in the MCU, and I will die on that hill.
Which would be?
The fact that Eternity's sitting right fucking there.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know how he got away with that in the slightest, and how he looks like he does. And it's not just some weird abstract, ironically abstract, just ball of space. But he exists right there. The one above all exists right there because the statue falls down. How did he get away with any of this in the little Thor movie? I will never know. But
I mean, it's the movie really to do it in.
But it obviously was the movie to do it in. But it's a random spot for it. I find it's like, oh, I'm going to go to Eternity. Like, okay, I'm not going to expect to see Eternity, and then bang, he's just sitting there chilling in Kingdom Hearts 3 for some reason.
Mitch, for your sake and my sake, obviously I'm not as invested in it as you, and I don't know as much as you do with the weird cosmic stuff, but I do like a lot of it in theory and in concept, and I hope we actually get our living tribunal and weird space shit for realsies this time soon.
I mean, the fact that Eternity is literally just sitting there he's just there. He doesn't make a damn sound. He has the whole cosmic, the camera pans and the space inside him moves, and that's all I've ever wanted. Like, that's all you ever needed to do. I don't know how they even pulled that effect off because I thought there's no way you could do that, but they done it and proved me wrong. So I have hope. The tribunals, they're honey dicking me enough with that thing. Just show the damn guy already, please. But
I agree. I'm also sincerely surprised there was no Loki. I really thought post-credit scene was going to try to put Loki in this one, and they didn't.
No, they even said before that Loki's not in the movie, but I never believed it.
I didn't believe him either.
Actually, no, he is in this movie because he's in the flashbacks.
Oh, wait, he is?
They show him dying every time he goes, he died, and again, and again, and again.
You thought mine was bad. Holy shit.
And he did
that was somewhat accurate. That's exactly how they say it. Again.
So much hate. I got no one in these streets. Mitch, do you have a letter grade?
I give it a B minus. To be honest, I think it's just a solid B minus. Like I really enjoyed it. It's not gonna be anywhere near the top of my ranking or whatever. Like it's on par with Ragnarok for me. It exists. It does itself. It's good at what it does. It's funny. It develops the character. It's just a good movie. I laughed, even with the goats.
I love the goats. Dude, I'm sorry. Loud noises make me laugh. Like I laugh every time. I laugh for every. It was so funny. It's so funny. It's so funny. Yeah, you're laughing right now because loud noises are funny.
Because it's funny. There was a point. Like the start when they came in funny, and every time it just got that little bit less funny. But when they came back and they crash land into that little Shadow Realm planet, hilarious. Like I was just stupid noises coming out my mouth. But yeah. Also, can we have a bit more about how sentient these weapons are, please?
Yeah,
because that's a whole thing in the comics. Like Mjolnir's sentient because of this giant cosmic god storm thing, and we've had little hints of it in the movies before, but never to this extent. Especially with Stormbreaker, like just push a little bit more in that direction. I want more of that in Thor 5.
I agree. I would like to also explore the sentience of these weapons. Nick, final thoughts and letter grade, my friend.
All right. Overall, the movie was okay. It's fine, in my opinion. Could have been longer. Could have had more screen time for a few characters. It's like a 8 or a 7 out of 10. I feel like more or less a B minus to me. Like it's fine. I still like it.
I like it too. Like I said, this is not like I don't know how high up this is going to end up being in my rankings. When I eventually do try to rank the entirety of the MCU, I've not attempted to do that to myself yet. But
it's not fun.
When I do, I don't know where this movie will fall, but I can tell you this: it's not at the bottom.
No.
I don't think
I don't trust people who have it last. People who got it at the bottom right now, I do not trust them.
Incredibly reactionary. But hey, if we don't like the movie right now, that means in 2 years it's going to be a forgotten masterpiece. People are going to talk about how much they love it, and this very positive review of the movie is going to be very popular in the future. So yeah. I think that's all we got. Again, Nick, where can the lovely people find you and what you do?
All right. Well, you can find me on Twitter at NFJ Films. You can find my show, Multiple Fan Bases, and we're gonna try to get back to it this week. And you can find our YouTube channel and also listen to us on Spotify as well. And again, we're trying to branch out. And you can also find me in the CBC Facebook group. And if you want, follow me on TikTok on NFJ Films. I do some pretty funny stuff, and sometimes Red Hood content. Sometimes.
Spoilers. There was a funny scream. Don't follow him.
Don't do it.
If you guys watch this podcast or listen to it enough, I promise you have seen or heard the funniest thing Nick has ever done on TikTok quite a few times.
Yeah.
Speaking of,
when this is out on home release, I expect you failed me once, Jarod. Okay, you know exactly what I'm gonna say.
Oh, I know.
But goats.
Yes.
Right when we were talking about the goats,
and you failed me once with the Alex Jones scream. I expect redemption with the goats.
I will find redemption with the goats.
Yeah, good boy, good lad.
Make the entire fan edit of the movie Like it's just the same movie, but it's just me screaming.
I mean, let's not ruin it. One scene's enough.
No, I'm gonna do that fan edit where it's Nick screaming every time the goats make noise. But the only other edit is I will get Armin to record the voice line for Nebula of "That's it, I'm gonna put it down." It's gonna be Armin saying it instead of Nebula.
Get Adam to be like me too. Mantis.
Mitch, where can the lovely people find you and what you do?
You can find me on Twitter at 692tweets. You can find me weekly on the CBC podcast at youtube.com/comicbookcast2. And also where I'm about to absolutely rage about Miss Marvel, but that's neither here nor there.
I
cannot wait to join you.
I gotta watch the whole show.
If you can't catch up by Friday, we can push it to Monday if that works.
Oh, yep, that works. I forgot.
I will do my level best.
You can't break tradition.
I know. I'll feel bad if we. I mean, I will feel bad that I made you have to do it without me. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching and listening. You guys can find me on Twitter and Instagram at DarkJedi2552, and you can find the Nerd Academy podcast on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and on our website, www.thenerdacademypodcast.com, where if you're feeling generous, you can donate to our Patreon.
Give me $1.
Speaking of our patrons, thank you to our $10 alumnus, this guy, Paco, or as he's going by on the Patreon. Go to saveinfowars.com and use code TNAP for 5% off your order. That's saveinfowars.com, code TNAP for 5% off.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. From the front lines of the information war, it's Alex Jones.
I bet you guys didn't see that I already used clips from Armin's review of this movie.
Can I just ask something real quick?
Yeah.
Hasn't it been longer than a month for Paco's name? Or Paco's name?
Paco has not changed in quite some time. From
that's what
the saveinfowars.com. The saveinfowars.com one has been on for a while. And I shit you not, Paco likes making me do an Alex Jones impression in every episode.
The fact that he hasn't changed the name has thrown my sense of time out. I'm like, cool, it's been a month, time for a new name. I have no idea what time of year it is now.
I love that you were around often enough to notice something like that, by the way. Yeah, I have no idea when Paco's going to change it. And
Paco, change it. I know you follow me on Twitter. I'm going to call you out if I don't change it now.
I don't know. I can tell you this. He's not getting a new clip. He's not getting
That's fine. Clip. The clip can stay. Clip can stay. That's what the name
is. It is always going to be the, all right, ladies and gentlemen. Speaking of our little special boy, Alex Jones, I don't know if y'all have been keeping up with the January 6th hearings. He showed up like 7 times in evidence that was shown in the hearings yesterday. And every time my jaw dropped that I was like, oh my God, we're actually talking about him in like a government setting. This is so bad.
Who was you guys were talking about the whole hearings yesterday?
Salty Cracker is the name of the channel, I believe, and he had like a little icon on there. It was like a MAGA fet.
Okay,
yeah.
That's nuts. That's kind of crazy.
Yeah. Also, Alden already announced that it's coming out on his Twitter, so I feel confident acknowledging its existence. There's going to be a very special 2-parter that is a collaboration with Octo Radio and the Nerd Academy podcast called The Phantom Menace and How We Got Here. At least that's how it's titled on my end. He's doing a different title because it's going up in both of our feeds. It is out now for patrons. If you want to go check that out, I have it out, I believe, at the $5 tier to maximize the number of patrons who get to see it. Part 1 and Part 2 are both on the Patreon. There's audio, and if you want, there's the unlisted version of the video as well for you guys to watch or listen, whatever you prefer. Very proud of what we made. I've been trying to basically make this project for ever since I've had a podcast, and I've never quite been able to figure out how to do it. And Alden helped make it happen. And yeah, I look forward to you guys watching or listening to it. And I keep getting ready to say I hope you enjoy it, but it is not enjoyable. It's, I think, very serious, and the presence of a weirdo fandom menace guy in the January 6th hearings prove every reason why Alden and I were so hell-bent on making this. So yeah, subscribe to the Patreon for early access. If not, it should be out sometime next week. So tune in for that. Speaking of the Patreon, we also have our newest $10 patron, Keandre Lloyd.
That sounded painful.
It does, and I'm like, again, I'm gonna keep saying this for the first couple weeks.
That was me opening night as well, so I don't blame.
It sounded like you. It sounded like you. My finger was.
I keep on seeing like videos of like on TikToks about people freaking out over the big reveals in No Way Home. I'm like, is that me? Was this in my movie theater?
Yes, that is you.
Nick just stood up and started fucking punching people when Daredevil showed up.
Listen, I'm not
like the second it happened, Nick just jumped out of his seat. I was like, "He's a good lord!"
You know that thing where they say if you don't have that one friend is you.
Yeah,
that's Nick in the theaters. So, no one screamed beside you. Yes, they did. It was you. You are the screamer.
But yeah, thank you to Keandre. They are the person who linked us to that very clip during our Multiverse of Madness review. So yeah, again, keeping with the Patreon, by the time you guys are seeing this, the latest episode of the Versus series will be out. Is going to be Revenge of the Sith, Anakin Skywalker versus the Mandalorian era Ahsoka Tano. And the one coming out that will be next week, because Anakin versus Ahsoka was for June. The next one after that will be Count Dooku versus Luke Skywalker. So stay tuned for all of that. And August is going to be the Grand Inquisitor versus Ron Coda. So we have, oh no, he's gone. So yeah, lots of cool stuff coming down the pipeline for the Patreon. You also get the audio commentary tracks for Movie Club on our Patreon at the $5 tier as well. We're doing Spielberg month, the Jurassic Park, we're going to be doing Jaws tomorrow morning. So expect the Jaws audio commentary and review coming out shortly after that. So without any further ado, thank you to our lovely guests. This is another classic Nerd Academy, multiple fan bases and comic book cast adventure. And class dismissed. This movie was fine. Shut the fuck up.
Stop! Move away from the cookie jar!